Can I come in your kitchen, baby, and cook all night long with you?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Christina. You are here on the main, and tonight we are making a bougie spring flatbread. We've got grilled zucchini. We have toasted pine nuts. We have an incredible herb oil that's going to get drizzled over the top. Arugula. Anything that has arugula is just automatically fancy. That's just how it works. I didn't make the rules. Please don't come for me. This is all happening because of Tech Savvy. Thank you so much, Tech Savvy. You keep us live on the air with this incredible live stream each and every week. If you guys are in Canada, make sure you give them a call. Tech Savvy is one of our low-cost providers with some excellent service. So thank you so much, guys. You are going to want to have a whole bunch of ingredients in front of you right now. 2 zucchinis, a whole bunch of shallots. I've got some ricotta cheese, pine nuts, garlic, rosemary, olive oil. Guys, this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. Let me know if you're cooking along so that I can check in on you. And if you're watching the rerun of this, you know I have timestamps down below for you. I got you, don't worry. If you guys made your own flatbread dough, then you would have probably watched my recipe video that I posted earlier today. This is a beautiful flatbread dough. I will link it here for the rerun. And this is my go-to dough when I make flatbreads. And I am kind of a self-professed flatbread queen because everywhere I go, people just assume I'm going to bring a flatbread. I love making them. I think they're impressive. They're easy. And honestly, they're my favorite way to clean out the fridge. Anything you have in your fridge, veggies going bad, things, you know, that need to get used up, leftover meats, they can go on a flatbread and you can create any type of flavors you want. See, Alyssa's here, she's cooking. Let me know where you guys are watching from tonight. If you are not subscribed yet, please hit subscribe, hit the like button. I like to try and cook things for real life that you guys can actually recreate in your own kitchen. And that's exactly what we're doing tonight. I'm gonna set this flatbread dough aside. If you guys are using your grill, you can, in the next 5 minutes or so, go preheat your grill. We'll start it up on high and then knock it back to medium once we start grilling this flatbread. But in the meantime, we're going to start to toast our pine nuts. If you guys look at these little pine nuts, these sweet little guys, I just love them. Italians cook with pine nuts all the time. It's one of the most popular nuts that you will see in Italian cooking. And they can be a little bit expensive. I love to go to Bulk Barn for things like this because you can buy just the right amount that you need. I've got a 1/4 cup and we're actually going to toast these up. So anytime you toast nuts, then you're going to be deepening their flavor. So I'm just starting with a small, just a non-stick pan. You can use whatever you have. And I'm going to pop this on the heat on low because I don't want these to go too fast. You do not want to scorch your pine nuts. That is not a fun time. You'll know when they need to be flipped because you'll start to see the brown coming up around them and you should probably start to smell them as well. But keep an eye on those pine nuts. We're going to toss them and toast them for about 5 to 7 minutes. They're not going to need much time at all. Ron Henderson is cooking in London tonight. Fun! Oh my gosh. I know you're not talking about London, England, but power to you, my friend. I've got an oldie but a goodie, a vodka soda with rosemary and lemon. I used to drink this back in the day and I loved it. So next thing we're gonna do now that we've got our pine nuts toasting is we need to get our olive oil infusing. So you should have a sprig of rosemary and 1 clove of garlic. Here's what we are gonna do. You're gonna grab just a little pot that you can infuse in and pull all of the leaves off that sprig of rosemary. Now guys, when it comes to making a flatbread your own, and I'm gonna give this rosemary just a small chop, nothing crazy here, I don't wanna mince it. Just break up those leaves a little bit to release their flavors. When you guys are making flatbreads at home and you're doing a riff on your own flavors, Herb oils are a great way to incorporate big, impressive flavor. So this rosemary that I just released the flavor from, these are in about 1 centimeter pieces. I don't want it to be much smaller than that. That's just going to let all of the essential oils out of that rosemary and into our oil. I'm going to take the root end off this garlic and I'm going to slice the garlic. We're not pulverizing it. We are not going crazy. We just want a nice slice on this garlic so that as much as possible, it is touching the oil. We want to increase the surface area of the garlic so that we can infuse as much garlic flavor into this oil as we can. How are we doing? Maria is here. You guys are great. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in every week and cooking with me. We do post these reruns so that you can go through them in your own time. See, I'm just doing a little slice on this garlic, nice and thin. You can go through it. You can pause me if I'm going too fast on the rerun. You cannot pause me in real time. I apologize. But yeah, there we go. Garlic all sliced up. It's going into my pot and I'm going to put 1/4 cup of olive oil. Now, 1/4 cup is not you don't need to have 1/4 cup. Nothing bad is going to happen if you have a little bit less or a little bit more, I promise. So this herb oil, can you guys see that? There's an incredible infusion happening in this. You should already smell that rosemary, that garlic. If you want, this is a great time to add some chili flakes. If you want some heat, you can add chili flakes at any point along this process. Feel free. I'm going to put this pot on the stove, and as low as my stove will go, that's where I'm going to leave this. So the goal is you do not want this herb oil to simmer. You just want it to infuse. Think of the temperature of like a heating pad or a little bit hotter than a heating pad. You just want these flavors to permeate the oil. There's no rush on that. We don't need it to the end. So the slower, the better. You can go too fast, but you can never go too slow. So that is the pro tip there. Phenomenal. I want to show you guys, we're working with ricotta cheese tonight. I went and got some extra fresh ricotta cheese from the deli section of my Italian grocer. And this is just, it's very similar to the ricotta cheese you get in the tub. It's just a little bit fresher tasting, a little more milky tasting, and I like that. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to check on my pine nuts. You'll see they haven't even started to take on color yet, but they are warm. We're toasting the oils in the nuts. The oil, as you guys know, when you, I'm gonna start peeling my shallots while I talk to you guys. We're gonna slice these shallots up so that they can be caramelized. So just start doing that, start removing the skins. Now, when you guys are toasting nuts of any kind, it's the oil in the nut that is toasting. So you need to heat that oil up to a temperature where it's actually going to, you want to envision it almost simmering within the nut. And that's how you know you've got a good temperature. In the oven, it's usually about a 325, 350. It's a good safe temperature for toasting nuts. And I'm going to get, and you'll see I've got like 4 shallots here, 5 shallots, sorry. And that's because I want you guys to have 3 large shallots. And these shallots just happened to be really small, so I didn't want to lose out on that incredible shallot flavor. So I definitely wanted to bump it up with 5. So if you guys are working with smaller shallots, grab a few extra. This is only going to benefit from shallots. Like nothing bad is going to happen here. And that's honestly, it's one of my favorite things about flatbread is that you can never really, if you think about the flavors and you really think about how they're going to harmoniously come together, you can't screw it up. It's easy. There we go. Peeling shallots, I'm not going to lie, is a pain. It's just not fun. There's no better way to do it. And if someone knows a better way, you let me know, please. I am on TikTok now. Here on the Main has a TikTok, so if you guys are there, go check us out. Our salmon recipe that we did from the risotto episode kind of went viral like crazy. It got like 218,000 views. People just love that salmon. I don't know. I mean, I love it too, but it sure took me by surprise. I don't know if this is the demographic for TikTok. I didn't think I was the demographic for TikTok, but it's been fun turning all our videos into 60-second clips. How do we take an hour and turn it into a 60-second clip, right? I know. So I'm almost done peeling these shallots. I'm just going and going here. And when these are peeled, don't forget, we've also got those nuts. When they start to stick to the bottom a little bit, you know those oil is releasing. Look at this, guys. I have a little bit of toasting happening. Perfect. I'm gonna knock that heat back. Keep an eye on those nuts. You do not wanna burn your nuts. That's an amateur move. And nobody here is an amateur. I know that for a fact. If you're watching at home, I have faith in you. A couple videos with me, you will not be an amateur anymore, my friends. How are you guys doing? Keep me updated. I wanna know how it's going. Tell me if you've got a little drink on the go tonight. We have been blessed with some beautiful, beautiful weather here in Ontario lately. Look at all these shallots, holy moly. That is why I wanted to do a grill episode tonight. When David found out we were doing a grill episode, I mean, David's on a need-to-know basis probably because if I told him half the stuff I wanted to do, I would just get in trouble and he would be like, no, that's too ridiculous, stop. But I told him just yesterday that we were going to be filming outside, and he thought I was joking. Sorry, David. He thought I was joking. My goodness. Can you believe it? Of course, a cooking show. Of course we're going to go outside and grill. I don't want to burn my nuts, Ron says. Are you guys being silly? I think you guys are being silly. I can smell these. You want to take them to a golden brown. If you're finding that some of them are browning a little bit too quickly and you can pull a couple of those out, do that until you get them all to the color that you want to. I'm going to give these a nice thin slice. We are going to caramelize these shallots, and they are going to lend such a beautiful sweetness to this flatbread. We're working with arugula, which is a very peppery wild green. And to counteract that pepperiness, we're bringing the sweetness in with these shallots. Now, shallots are not necessarily sweet on their own, but when you caramelize them in a little olive oil, oh my gosh, they're making me cry. Here we go. Oh. When you caramelize them in a little olive oil, then they release their natural sugars, and those natural sugars are what give it that sweetness. Brian Enge doing his thing. Guys, if you're in Ottawa and you haven't gone to subscribe to Brian Enge yet, please do. He does food reviews of places in Ottawa on YouTube, and it's great. I'm still waiting for that pad thai showdown. He says he's never had a flatbread before. I'm surprised. Flatbreads are like all the rage. You go to somewhere like Joey, or like a Milestones, or one of those kind of, I don't know what classification of restaurant that is, where it's kind of fancy. They're trying to be upscale, but it's not super expensive, I guess. You could still show up wearing whatever you want. No one's going to look at you weird. I find those types of places, oh my gosh, I'm crying, guys. I find those types of places really, they do the flatbreads really, really well. Okay, look at my nuts. These are phenomenal. I'm going to give these just another 2 minutes or so because they're just right there. And when those are done, we're going to use that same pan. We're going to remove the pine nuts, and we're going to use that same pan to do our caramelized shallots. This is going to come together probably relatively quickly, guys. I want you to have a tray ready because we're going to bring a bunch of stuff outside for when we cook the flatbread. So I've got this tray ready. I'm going to put all my stuff on here in some way, shape, or form to bring it outside. And I've also got a nice big board that's super smooth. If you don't have something like this, oh, sorry. If you don't have something like this, then just grab a sheet tray and use the bottom of it. This is going to be used to slide our dough on and off the barbecue. So make sure you have something you can slide the dough with. If you're using a sheet tray, no problem at all. Just use the bottom of it and you'll be a-okay, ready to go. How are we doing? I've got to learn how to cut as quickly as you can, Brian says. Practice, my friend. Practice. Okay, my nuts are done. Look at this. Do you see how beautifully toasted these are? It's just the easiest way to level up a simple ingredient, take it to the next level. I'm going to, try one. They're so good. Oh my gosh. Guys, I know pine nuts are a little expensive. Here, I'm just putting them in this little ramekin. I know pine nuts are a little bit expensive, but the butteriness and the flavor that you get from these little beauties are unlike anything you will have. Can you sub pine nuts for another nut? Of course you can. This is a flatbread. There's nothing serious going on here. And it's all about creating flavors that you like. And you know, if you like walnuts, go ahead and use walnuts. The reason I didn't, I'll be transparent about this tonight, use walnuts, is because walnuts have a skin on them that can be, well, it is bitter. And I just didn't want that bitter note on this flatbread. We've got the arugula, that's gonna lend that pepperiness. Again, there's just things happening here. I can't stop eating these now. Oh, so good. So that's why I did choose to use pine nuts. So next, what I am going to do is in this pan, in this little pan that I was just toasting the pine nuts in, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. You know, a couple turns of the pan. Again, don't be so worried about specifics. When someone writes a recipe, they just did something, realized, wow, it tasted really good, and said, how much oil was that? How much was that? The reason we use measurements like a tablespoon, a teaspoon, are so that everybody can recreate it, obviously in their own kitchen. But it really is, it doesn't have to be that serious. It really doesn't. Just use a couple turns of the pan and you'll start to feel more like that kitchen intuition is developing. If you're not always busting out those measuring spoons, it also helps with the amount of dishes that you have. So I'm gonna season this lightly with salt and I'm gonna get this on the heat. I'm gonna bump up my heat a little bit because I want this to, I'll show you, I'm just coating the shallots in the oil. I really want these to start caramelizing quickly. So we need to evaporate the liquid and we need to start developing color. So I'm gonna put these on the heat. I'm gonna bump it up to medium, number 6, just a little bit higher than medium. And those are gonna start rocking. Check on that herb oil, see what's happening. Oh my God. Can you guys see? This is stunning. This is absolutely stunning. Toto, how's it going, my friend? I think you're new. Say hi. Where are you from? This is my herb oil, garlic and rosemary. It is, guys, the perfume coming from this oil. Dab that behind your ears. You have the men chasing you all day. Okay. Next thing we need to set up is our zucchini. We're going to be grilling this on the barbecue. I'm telling you, this is like, we're gonna have a lot of stuff going on in the barbecue. We're gonna be cooking the dough. We're gonna be grilling the zucchini. Stick with me, it's gonna be okay. Make sure you have a lemon on standby as well, because this is getting, the zest is going on the final product. Perfect, these shallots are going well. Just keep stirring them. Make sure they're getting love. They're all oily and delicious. Okay, I'll show you guys how we're gonna prep these zucchinis. I'm cutting off the ends. Don't cut off too much, just a little bit. And I always do a little bit extra zucchini because these are great in your eggs tomorrow. These are great on a sandwich. Nobody ever got upset over too much grilled zucchini. So I am doing 2 zucchini, may or may not use all of it for the flatbread. So stick with me. Toto says he's in Toronto. We are in Ottawa, my friend. I am going to slice this zucchini in half, and I'm going to cut it. I know you probably think I'm about to go and do slices. I'm going to do spears. Now, listen to this. Two things. One, spears don't require you to keep a very, very steady knife. Spears also don't overcook like slices do. And when I was in Italy, we had this incredible pizza. It was amazing, and it had zucchini on it, and they cut it into spears, and I just loved that meatiness of actually biting through the spear of zucchini as opposed to a slice. So that's what we're doing today. So slice your zucchini in half, and then just, you'll see this ridge like a triangle. Cut it into a nice meaty piece. So I'm cutting it in half once, and then into quarters, and then into eighths. And that's gonna be plenty. If you have an extra big zucchini, you can cut it again. If you have a smaller zucchini, cut it less. Guys, you have to pay attention to what's happening in your kitchen, because it's not going to be the exact same as what's happening in mine. And I find that's where a lot of recipes, or people when they're recreating recipes at home, go wrong, is they're too focused on the letter of the recipe. You want to be more focused on what's happening in your kitchen. Is your heat too high? Is your heat too low? Look what's happening with these shallots, for example. I have some that are already browning. Others, they're not even saturated in oil. So I got to get them a little bit more even, press them into the bottom of the pan. These need to keep going. So leave them alone. Stop, have a drink. You gotta be having fun when you're doing this, guys, or else what's the point? So again, zucchini, slice it right down the middle in half, and then I like to flip it over and in eighths. These zucchini are going to be tossed with some olive oil and salt. You know we are doing that. We don't want to salt these zucchini too early, because I'll tell you what's going to happen if you do. You're going to end up with a soggy, soupy mess. Zucchini has a lot of water. We want that water to come out on the grill. And if you salt these too early, like this is a lot of zucchini. I'm not going to need all of this, I guarantee you. I'm going to cut maybe another half of zucchini. You cut as much as you think you want, but I am going with this. This is, if you salt too much zucchini, again, you're going to have a soupy mess. So pay attention to how much food you're cooking, what you're working with. Just beautiful. Let me know if there's anything you guys want to see too in upcoming cook-alongs. And if you're watching right now and you're not cooking along, we cook live most Saturday nights, and you can log on to Here on the Main on Instagram, and that's where I post the ingredients that you're going to need to cook along with us. So here we go. On this tray, because I don't want to dirty anything else, I'm going to put these zucchini so that I can get some olive oil rubbed all over them. We're still keeping an eye on those shallots. Give them a mix. We can see them developing some color. Perfect. Let them still go, guys. Let them go. We want to see a distinct brown color. Olive oil. Just drizzle it on that zucchini. You don't need too much, because we're going to employ the use of the best tools in the kitchen, our hands. And we're going to rub the zucchini with all of the olive oil. Just get it on there. I will likely salt this when it's on the barbecue, just to avoid salting too early, because we are still waiting on our shallots. And guys, I'm telling you, it really is a thing. If you salt these too early, you'll just have a pile of water. It will be no fun. And on this show, we spend a lot of time trying to get water out of our food, because that means the flavor is concentrating. When you are trying to brown something, you're trying to remove the water so that the boiling stops, so that it can sear. I'm going to wash up my hands really quickly. And tell me if you guys have any questions. I know we try and spit out a lot of facts on this show and help you guys really understand what is happening in the kitchen, not just, again, how to follow a recipe, which is good information, but it doesn't help you when you have to use things in your fridge that are going bad, There we go. See that? That's what we're looking for, that color right there. These only need a few more minutes, which is great because we're just about ready to head out to the barbecue. If your barbecue is not preheated yet, preheat your barbecue. If you're cooking in the oven, make sure you preheat your oven to 450. This needs to be cooked high. And if you're not using a barbecue, you're gonna wanna cook your zucchini. You can get just a big pan and you're just gonna do a saute on those zucchini, like we've sauteed things 100 times before. So get those all mixed, leave them over there, enjoy my drink here. Perfect. These zucchini, I'm going to actually bring everything outside. So these pine nuts are coming outside. The ricotta cheese is coming outside. This arugula is going to get dressed with a little bit of olive oil. We are not putting it on the pizza completely naked, but we're not gonna dress it just yet, but it is coming outside. So I'm going like this. I'm gonna check on my, oh, perfect. Look at my herb oil, guys. It's starting to simmer a little bit. I'm going to shut it off. This is stunning. This smells so, so, so good. I'm going to just keep this over here because when we come back inside, we're going to drizzle this all over the top. So we don't need that just yet. These shallots are almost there. Can they see that okay? Need to go down a little bit so you guys can see this. Look where we're at with these shallots, almost there. Perfect. I'm gonna give these just another few minutes while I organize myself to go outside. And then we're ready. Okay, so my ingredients are all on here. We'll do some chili flakes after, lemon after. I'm gonna set this aside and focus on my dough. I know you guys are probably like, are we gonna use that dough? What's happening? Oh yes, she is nice. She is plump. She is beautiful. I need my board. I'm just gonna slide it right on top. Okay, you're gonna need some flour. And this dough probably makes about 2 flatbreads depending on the size. So I want to make a flatbread for 2 people and I want it to be relatively thin. So I'm gonna use probably about 2/3 of this. And I'll show you guys how it's looking. Now, one of 2 things can happen. One, you can flour this like crazy and slide it in and around the cutting board, or you can use the residual oil from the bowl to just push it into the shape that you need. And I always like to do an oblong shape. What I want you guys to keep in mind is the dough can sense your fear. I know you think I'm sounding crazy, but what I mean by that is if you are too timid with the dough, oh, my shallots are done. If you are too timid with the dough, you're gonna get tears in it. Look at my shallots, perfect, done. Beautiful, your shallots should be nice and caramelized, just like that. So I'm just gonna take those off the heat. If you're too timid with the dough, it's not going to cooperate with you because it's just gonna take over. The dough is working with gravity. So if I pick up this dough and I stretch it out like this, the gravity is doing its work. And the beauty of doing a flatbread at home is it's going to look super, super rustic because the shape is going to be irregular. So I'm just pushing this out so that it is a good size. I'm not going to use this flour because you see when I go to put this on the barbecue, guys, I'm going to fold it over my hands like this. This is not for the faint of heart. Please do not shy away from this. I'm going to put my hand on one side and I'm going to flip it over and literally be able to take it in my hands like this. And I want you guys to try that here on your cutting board. If it contracts in size, that's okay. We have time to stretch it out. When we get it on the barbecue, you're gonna have a second to work with it. So just inch it out into the size that you want. And it's always better to work with a couple smaller ones than one giant one. I like a good challenge, so I am working with one giant one. That's just me. But so I'm actually not going to use this flour. And if my dough wasn't as oily, I probably would have used the flour to try and get it to not stick to this board. But oil actually does a very similar job to flour in that it gets it not to stick. This also means I don't have to oil my grill. If you guys don't have an oily piece of dough, then you're going to want to oil your grill with a little bit of paper towel. So if you get a hole in the middle, don't worry, that's okay. We are going to cook this guy on 2 sides. We want to cook it on the first side for 2 to 3 minutes, and then cook it on the second side. And when it's cooking on the second side, we're going to start topping it with our toppings. So lots is going to be happening, guys. I'm telling you, this is gonna go quick. Preheat your barbecue, get it going. I'm not going to be able to bring my phone outside, so if you guys have questions, actually, I should probably figure out a way to bring out my phone. Okay, never mind, I'll do it. I'll do it for you. We'll figure it out. Okay. This is the time we're going to dress our arugula. So take your olive oil, just a little like a teaspoon, half a tablespoon, not a lot, because don't forget we have this herb oil that we're going to use as well. We just want the leaves to glisten. If you've got those leaves glistening, you're good. You are good, don't worry. Okay, this is it. We are gonna go outside to the barbecue. Make sure you've got a set of tongs with you. We are going to bring our salt. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do this in 2 trips. So here we go. I'm going to go out first with this. If you guys are doing the barbecue, you should be coming with me. Here we go. My barbecue is ripping hot right now, guys. It is so, so hot. So I'm gonna open it up. Oh, yes. I want to grill my zucchini. So all my ingredients right here. Beautiful. We are gonna get all of this zucchini onto the barbecue. No rhyme or reason, just get it on there. And we don't want to cook the crap out of this. We want it to have some texture left. So get it onto the barbecue, touching the grill. Oh, it's a nice night, guys. Tell me how it is where you are. Are you enjoying this early spring it feels like we're having? Maybe winter was just so long, I forgot that we even get this type of weather. I don't know. Give it a nice big season. Season your vegetables properly. Excellent. Come on in here and show them this. I've got my heat up and under this zucchini. It's nice and high. I have the dough waiting right here with ricotta, everything. This is stunning. Oh yeah, we got a nice sunset tonight. We're lucky. Tell me how you guys are doing. You're making me nervous. I'm not hearing anything. I'm gonna close this just for a moment so that all of the heat can stay under there. Guys, when we hit the grill with this dough, we're gonna close the grill right away so that we can let the heat get all around our dough. Just like when you see, those fancy pizza spots, that's what we wanna do. We wanna get the dough onto the grill. It will not stick. Trust me, hang in there. If you've got your dough oiled, even if it's floured, it'll be fine. Oil your grates if they're a little bit sticky, but I've never, ever, ever had a problem with this sticking. So I've got my grill on high right now. If your grill is extra, extra hot, you might need to have it on medium high, but guys, pay attention to what's happening. Don't overcook. Give your zucchini a flip once you see them start to brown. You want beautiful flavor. I'm doing it on one side because I'm going to be cooking the flatbread on the other side, and I'm just going in and flipping these. It doesn't need to be, again, super precise. When you see a flatbread, it's like a marvel of simplicity. So let that happen for yourself. Beautiful, look at that, nice and hot. Close the grill every once in a while, let that heat get in there. Enjoy this fine, fine evening. Doing a great job, KT. Thanks, Cal. If you guys are grilling, or sorry, if you are doing this inside at your stove, you're gonna wanna be sauteing this zucchini on a medium high to get some color on there. Same thing, salt it when it's in the pan, hang in there, get it cooked, and we're nearly ready to go to the grill with this dough. I'm very excited. You guys are gonna do that technique I just showed you, where you fold it over one of your hands. How's that lighting? Is it okay? It's all right, David says. All right, these zucchini are looking good. Give them one more flip. And see, just to reiterate that you guys can do any flavor of flatbread that you want. I would also put, to do like a different flavor, put some za'atar on the zucchini, or some lemon juice. Like, you could dress this up however you like. A different cheese maybe. I don't make the rules. You do, in your kitchen. If you come to my house, you gotta follow my rules, but at your house, it's your rules. If you don't want any nuts at all on your flatbread, I mean, I disagree, but power to ya. This side of the grill is just ripping hot. It is so hot. I'm gonna put that flatbread down, and it is, it's just gonna be done the second it hits it, I know it. Beautiful zucchini, stunning. Okay, I'm gonna let this zucchini keep doing its thing over here. And are you ready? Are you ready, my friends? I know you can do this. Flatbread, make sure they can see me. I am going to fold my dough over my hand like this, and I'm going to grab it like this, see? And get it right on the grill. I'm gonna start at the front, lay it all the way back, we'll see. There we go, it's almost there. Bam, on the grill. Close your grill once it's on there. Let that heat engulf your beautiful flatbread. You should smell, you should definitely not be hearing a dog. You should definitely not be hearing the dog. I'm sorry. It's the neighbors. Have you guys been here? The neighbors are always. What am I gonna do? At least they're not leaf blowing. Close that. You should be smelling it already. And what we're not trying to do is cook this fully on the first side. We do not want this to cook fully. We only want it to cook enough so that we can pick it up and flip it over. That is the only goal of this first side. As soon as we flip it over, we're gonna start dressing it. I like to do, I do like to do the arugula first. Sometimes I like to do the cheese first. There's no real rhyme or reason. I'll show you guys how we're gonna build this. And because we're still cooking our zucchini, if yours is done, by the way, keep an eye so that you can keep flipping it or even pull it off if you have to. I like what's happening here, so I am gonna leave it. Keep a close eye. You guys can see, look at the bubbling happening all on this dough. Beautiful bubbling. If you need to check it, check it. I'm ready to flip. I'll show you guys what this looks like. Look at that. Actually, I'm almost ready. The front isn't quite, you see? We've got browning happening under there. Were they able to see? I'll show you there. This is good, this is good. We're almost there. There's two ways you can flip this. You can pick it up with your tongs in one fell swoop and flip it, or you can flip it on the board, which might be easier, just so I could show you. Here we go. I'm going to, if you're using a sheet pan, use a sheet pan. If you're using a board, grab your board. Get a good handle on that with your tongs, slide it off, flip it over, and get it back on. Bam, just like that. This zucchini is done. I'm gonna pull it off over here. My barbecue is still on high. If your barbecue is very, very hot, you might need to be on medium high because this needs to cook for about 3 or 4 minutes on this side. I'm going to just angle it there. It's on high. And our goal is to brown this second side. You want this to brown beautifully. This, guys, the smell on this dough, it smells like yeasty deliciousness. The flavors are developed. If you guys make this dough, one of the easiest ways to improve it is 1, to use honey or a different type of flavored sugar, and 2, to let it rise in the fridge for a few days. Doughs always benefit from a cold rise, almost always. If you're dealing with savory doughs like this, a cold rise allows the yeast to develop slowly. And the slower the development happens, the slower you let that rise happen, the more flavor it's going to develop. Okay, check on it, keep checking on it, because you don't want it to burn. Oh yeah, look, you can see what's happening there. Just stunning. Leave it down, let it go. I'm gonna eat a piece of zucchini. So it's like, oh my God, so good. How are you guys doing? Amanda, love zucchini. Oh my God, so hot, but so good. This is it, guys. This is the life. Don't you just feel so rich when you can cook outside like this on a beautiful night? What can I say? Maybe it's sentimental of me, but hey. Okay. Keep checking that till you like the doneness of the bottom. You see? See what's happening? Looks good. The second your flatbread is done and you like what's happening on the bottom, you can pull it off and start dressing it. I'm not quite there yet. I'm gonna leave it just a few more minutes, and then I'm going to get the arugula on. I'm going to get the zucchini, dollop it with your ricotta cheese, get that lemon zest on there, the pine nuts, and that final hit of herb oil and any chili flakes if you want. It's going to be a magical, magical flatbread. So fancy, so bougie, perfect for spring. I love it. The smell. You shouldn't be smelling burning. That's a bad smell. If you smell burning, take it off. But perfect. Guys, my flatbread is perfect. I want to show you. I'm happy with this. That's why I'm going to take this off right now. Perfect. Look at that. I'm going to close this barbecue. And I want to emphasize something for you guys. Here, I'll put this over here so we can build the flatbread. I want to emphasize something for you guys. It's very important to season your entire dish when it's done. So you are actually going to salt the entire pizza, and that's very important. When you guys are making pizza at home, make sure you're salting your final dish. We season all of our food. This is my phone for your comments, just so I can see. I'm going to start building this with my arugula, just like this, right on the bottom. Oh yeah. Arugula on. Zucchini. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Guys, you can mix and match the vegetables. You can put meat on this. Shrimp would be divine. I don't make the rules in your house. You do whatever you want. Look how much I have left. This is beautiful. Ricotta cheese. Dollop it on like you work at a fancy pizzeria. Why not? Stunning. If you have an Italian deli near you, ask them if they have fresh ricotta in the deli counter. You're welcome. Get this all over the top. Use as much as you like. If you like a little Parmigiano, well, get out that block I told you to buy in your fridge. Okay. Heck yes. This is exactly what they're doing at the pizza spots, guys. Yep. Pinoles, pine nuts. I'm gonna bring you inside in 2 minutes so we can finish this guy up with some lemon zest and that herb oil that we made. Extra pine nuts, some for me. Okay. I will bring this inside. You guys will follow in 1 second. We did it! We did it, we did it! Lemon zest. Get that on there. Oh, perfume your entire flatbread with this incredible, incredible flavor. Sorry about that dog barking, team. Okay. Oh, wow. Use as much lemon zest as you want. Whatever you need. I'm going to do a little bit of chili flakes. Nanze, nanze. And finally, this beautiful herb oil that we made. Let those herbs, if they want to go on there, no problem. Okay. Heck yes. Get that all on there. You don't need to use all of it. Just use as much as you feel. But remember, there's no actual sauce on this pizza, on this flatbread. This is it. I don't have your comments because I couldn't carry my phone, but guys, this is the final flatbread. Your bougie spring flatbread is complete. I want to try this for you. I do have to take pictures of it, so I'm going to cut it from one side, but if I were you, I would just slice this up into long slices. I'm going to get an end piece over here so that I can hide where I ate it for the photo. Look at this. Look at that, guys. Okay. Guys. These flavors. You know what I just realized? I forgot the shallots. I was so excited. It triggered me because I'm like, I'm missing sweetness. You gotta have sweetness. I gotta try it right now. Get all of this on my shallots. I'll give this a try. There we go. You see? You always know when you're building a recipe. If it's missing something, because it's a glaring hole. You want to be hitting all of the flavors. Salty, sweet, savory, everything. Get this on there. Yes, yes, yes. My salt got left outside. It's okay. I have more here. I always have a backup. Give this a little season. Perfect. Guys. Hopefully you guys are good, because I forgot my phone. I'm going to hack off another piece for myself. I was way too excited to try this. Can you tell? Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I feel like this is it. This is dinner. You don't need me anymore. You should be eating. I'm Christina. Thank you for cooking with me. I hope you're subscribed. Thank you for being here on The Main. Bye, everyone.
Can I come in your kitchen, baby, and cook all night long with you?